Hello and welcome to TV Talks, the show where I take a look at both the good and the bad of what television has to offer. Today, we're looking at one of the shortest-lived Nicktoons of all time, relatively speaking. So this show technically lasted about 3 years or so, but only lasted one season, and it's very clear that season was just kind of made back-to-back, but like SpongeBob Season 9, sporadically aired over the course of about 3 years. What is the show and why did it end up like this? Well, it's Robot Monster, and why that happened, we'll get to that in just a little bit. Now, when I announced this one in the polls, I started getting a lot of people saying that they really like this show. Alright. It's about, well, a robot and a monster. Who would have guessed? They work at a blinking light factory, they love bacon, and it's SpongeBob. That's pretty much it. It's kind of got that same two wacky people kind of getting in weird situations in their surrealist town where it's not quite like our world, but in a sense it is a little bit. There's colorful side characters, there's an annoying weirdo, there's a villain. You get the idea. It's the same kind of formula that Sanjay and Craig, Breadwinners, Rocket Monkeys, and even Regular Show dipped into. It's the two kind of wacky characters getting in all these hijinks, and the hijinks are very loud, colorful, and cartoony. Although I definitely gotta say, this is definitely not an onslaught to the senses like, say, Breadwinners was. And I gotta say, the voice cast is pretty good, including having Curtis Armstrong playing Robot. Curtis Armstrong, for those who don't know, is Dan from Dan Versus, one of the most criminally underrated shows of all time. This guy always brings a good performance, and while Robot isn't really one of my favorite of his roles, he certainly does bring a lot of fun energy to it. Also, Jeff Bennett, at least in one episode, plays Marv. Marv is this cinder block, I guess, that they have as a pet who just says, Marv. That's pretty much it. When Marv talked that one time, it was good, because of course it's Jeff Bennett. Although, I gotta say, the whole Marv thing, one of the best performances in this whole show. Jokes aside, how is it? Well, I already kind of gave my disdain for a little bit earlier, giving you a hint, but now let's really get into it. It's not that I don't like this show, it's just that this show's kind of nothing. Like I said, it's basically Sanjay and Craig, but more competent and a bit more colorful. None of the stories are really that new, none of the humor is really that new, none of the characters are really that new, it's just not new. That's basically how I can describe the show. It's generic buddy comedy like the Brothers Flub with the Dumb and Dumber cartoon, just reskinned slightly. And also, the writing style on the show, praise the Lord, is not overly gross and crude like Breadwinners or Sanjay and Craig, and not loud and in your face like the Brothers Flub. No, this one takes a different approach. It's a little too safe for my liking. Well, yes, it does get loud sometimes. A lot of the times it just kind of feels restrained and laid back. Some shows can pull off that laid back kind of style, but when I see that this is clearly not the writer's strong suit, it really shows. The animation is bright and colorful and probably the loudest thing in the show. No joke, when I first saw it, I thought it was just like a commercial for some kind of food product or something. I don't know, something about Monster's design just kind of screams Target food court to me. I don't know, it just doesn't quite seem like a character, really. Robot looks alright, kind of like Bender on wheels, I suppose. Although one character design I really do like is the Spitfire character, who is basically a living scooter. I kind of like that. Aside from that, not too much in the animation and character design department. The animation's just kind of alright, and again, the character designs are kind of off. There's the background score, which again, it's alright. Do they have anything really creative in this show? Not really. Again, just kind of the same thing. It's just generic buddy comedy number 6431. We've seen this before. And honestly, I think that's why Nickelodeon ended up not having any faith in this. For one, promotion, from what I can tell, was kept to an absolute minimum. I watched Nickelodeon a lot when this was coming on. This was towards the very end of me actually liking the network, and then later on realizing, okay, let's watch something else. This is no good. That was part of that huge 30-something% ratings decline they had that year. Anyways, I watched Nickelodeon a lot, and I saw one, maybe two advertisements for this. That's it. And then, of course, within maybe a year, it got moved to Nicktoons. Yeah, premiered on Nickelodeon, 2012, moved to Nicktoons early 2013. That didn't take long at all. And of course, as we all know, when things get moved to Nicktoons, they don't really make new episodes. We've seen that from Barnyard, we've seen that from Harvey Beaks, we've seen that from The Fairly Odd Parents. They don't really make new episodes when you're on Nicktoons. What they do is they take your stock that you've already got made and then get rid of it there. However, with Robot Monster, they took their sweet, sweet time. And I think it's just because they had no enthusiasm to air this. They already had Breadwinners, they already had Sanjay and Craig, they already had SpongeBob. All things that already fit their formula. Robot Monster just didn't make a splash. If you look at the ratings returns on both channels, it shows that. So this show technically only lasted a year, in production at least. When it comes to airing, that's when they stretch it out, as it officially ended in 2015. But that's only because that's when all the episodes ended up getting aired, and then of course it ended up being shown on their Noggin app for young kids. Which, yeah, for young kids, this is alright. It's not great, but you know, there's worse things they could be watching, like Peppa Pig, or insert other bad kids show here. I don't watch children's programming, sorry. As for this, though, it's not good, but then again, it's also not really bad. On its own, it's just kind of flat, thumb to the side, 2.5 stars out of 5. And I think we all know what that means. This thing gets nothing.
You get nothing!
I want to know why a lot of people like this one, though. So, if you were one of those people that said you liked Robot Monster, can you please let me know why? I'm kind of curious. Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you guys next week.
Good night, everybody.